All right, welcome to the Spinner's Inner Circle. Today, we're going way beyond just turning a cricket ball. We're talking about the art of deception. This is a masterclass on how spin bowlers truly win games, and we're opening up the entire playbook to show you every single trick in the book.
Yeah, because that's the real game, isn't it? Look, almost anyone can learn to spin a ball, but the true masters, the ones who actually win matches, they're basically playing chess on a 22-yard pitch. They're setting traps, planting seeds of doubt. They're master illusionists. So, the big question is, how do they actually pull it off?
So here's our game plan. We're going to break this down into 4 key chapters. First, we'll get into the core philosophy, the art of deception. Then, we'll dive into the specific tools, first for the off spinner, then for the leg spinner. And finally, we'll get into what might be the most important part, the mindset of a master spinner.
Okay, first up, the off spinner. Now their stock delivery, their bread and butter, is the ball that turns from off to leg for a right-handed batter. But that's not what makes them dangerous. Their real threat comes from all the other things they can do, the variations. Let's take a look at their weapons of deceit.
First in the toolkit is the carom ball. The absolute genius of this delivery is that the bowler's action looks almost exactly like a normal off break. So the batter is all set for the ball to spin in, but then, at the last second, it shoots the other way. It's a total mystery ball, designed to catch them completely off balance.
So how do you do it? Well, check out the grip. It's not called the striker grip for nothing. The release is literally like flicking a striker on a carom board. It's this sharp, sudden flick that puts the reverse spin on the ball. And trust me, mastering this takes some serious finger strength and a ton of practice to land it right.
And next up, we have the infamous Dusra. The name literally means the other one. This is the off-spinner's version of a leg break. It turns sharply away from the right-hander. It is a massive, high-risk, high-reward weapon that's fooled some of the best batters ever, but oh man, it has also been at the center of some major controversies.
So, you start with the normal grip, which is part of the deception. But the magic, the whole trick, happens right at the release. It takes an incredible amount of flexibility in your shoulder and wrist to get the back of your hand to face the batter like that. The ball comes out spinning counterclockwise, and that's what makes it turn away.
And this right here, this is the number that haunts every bowler who tries to Dusra, 15 degrees. Bowlers are not allowed to straighten their arm by more than 15 degrees during the delivery. Go over that, and it's illegal. This rule has seen absolute legends of the game face scrutiny and even get banned. It just shows you how ridiculously hard this ball is to bowl legally.
Okay, now for something a little more subtle, the top spinner. This one isn't about sideways turn at all. Instead, it spins forward, end over end. This creates something called the Magnus effect, which basically makes the ball dip way faster than the batter expects. And then, after it pitches, it kicks up with some extra, surprising bounce.
And you can see just how beautifully simple the change is. Look at the seam. For a regular off spin, it's angled. For the top spinner, you just point that seam straight at the batter. That's it. That one little adjustment completely changes how the ball rotates, fooling the batter with dip and bounce instead of turn.
And finally, for the off spinner, you have the slider. So you've shown the batter balls that turn in, you've shown them balls that turn away, you've shown them dip, and now you throw one that does, well, nothing. It just slides on straight, usually a bit quicker, and it catches the batter on the back foot when they're expecting it to move.
The setup is just so simple, it's brilliant. Again, just a tiny change in grip. You just angle the seam so it points up towards the sky. With a normal off-spin action, the ball comes out with backspin, which makes it skid through low and fast. This is an absolutely fantastic weapon for trapping a batter LBW, or leg before wicket, because they're playing for turn that never comes.
All right, deep breath. We're switching disciplines. Now we're entering the world of leg spin, which many people say is the toughest cricketing art there is to master. The goal is exactly the same, deception, but the methods, the grips, the actions, they are a whole different ballgame.
So let's start with the crown jewel of leg spin, the googly. You'll also hear it called the wrong un, which is the perfect name for it. This is the ultimate illusion. From everything the batter sees in the bowler's action, they expect the ball to spin away from them. But instead, it darts back in, often right through the gate between their bat and pads.
The secret here is an absolutely incredible feat of wrist mechanics. So the grip is the same, but right at the moment of release, the wrist just flips over completely. The back of the hand ends up facing the batter, and it's your ring finger, the third finger, that actually puts the spin on the ball. The whole idea is to create that gap between bat and pad for a bowled or LBW.
And just like the off spinner, the leggy has a slider in their back pocket.
The principle is exactly the same. It's deception through a lack of turn. The bowler releases the ball with their palm facing the batter and just rolls their fingers over the top. This gives it backspin, which makes the ball hurry on, skidding straight and fast when the batter is all set for that big looping leg break.
Okay, now we're talking about the delivery that separates the great from the legendary, the flipper. This is, without a doubt, one of the hardest deliveries to master in all of cricket. It just explodes out of the hand with heavy backspin, looks deceptive, but stays low and fast. When you get this right, it's just devastating.
So how on earth do you bowl this thing? Well, what's so cool is the release. The ball is literally squeezed out from between the thumb and fingers with a sharp click, almost like you're snapping your fingers. This puts a ton of backspin on it, making it hurry onto the batter, stay super low, and just skid right through. A great tip is to practice that clicking motion without a ball first, just to get the feel for it.
So, we've covered all the physical stuff. The grips, the releases, the techniques. But you know what? None of that matters, not one bit, without the final and frankly the most crucial ingredient, the mind. The real battle is always won or lost between the ears.
You know, my old coach used to say this all the time, and it's probably the single most important piece of advice a spinner can ever get. A spinner's heart must be very big. So what does that really mean? It means you cannot be afraid. You just can't be afraid of getting hit for a boundary.
And that really gets to the core of the spinner's mindset. Your job is to create opportunities, and you do that by tempting the batter. You toss the ball up, you give it some flight, you invite them to come after you. Yeah, you're going to get hit for a few runs, of course you are. But by luring them into playing those big shots, you create the chance for a mistake, a mishit, a catch. You just have to back yourself, stick to your plan, and be relentless.
So there you go. The full playbook is in your hands. You've got the grips, the actions, and the courageous mindset you need to succeed. The only thing left is the practice. So the real question isn't if you can learn these, it's which one of these incredible deliveries are you going to master first?